This is part 2 of our how-to video for setting up our MITS, multi-integrated technology system, using uvu, XSplit, laptops, and the internet. Alright, so we said if you pull up scene number 1, after you've gone through Pinnacle, you've seen that the camera is active, you turn on XSplit. If XSplit does not see the main camera in scene number 1, then we went to remove, as you remember, then we added that camera. As you see here in our video, we just went down to add camera, and then we chose the camera dazzle up top. Now the camera is now seen by XSplit. So what we want to do before we size it to the correct size, it needs to fill this entire black space. This entire black space needs to be filled, because this is what the audience is seeing on the other side through uvu. It cannot afford to just leave it like that. So let's right click on it. It'll pull up an option, and we want to uncheck, I hope you can see that. We want to uncheck keep aspect ratio. We do not want to keep the aspect ratio. We want to uncheck that box. Now, it doesn't come through very clear on this little video, but just yeah, it's because it's the screen. There. Yeah, keep aspect ratio. We want to uncheck that. Okay, and once that's unchecked, then just move and it'll disappear. And then we drag it. We'll drag it. All right. If we had kept aspect ratio, it would have had to come out evenly on both sides, and it would have hit the side before it hit the bottom. Now we can drag it down and fill up that whole screen. Alright, so scene number 1 is now set up. Let's test it. Scene 2 should be audience. There we go. Scene 1, speaker shot. There you go. Scene 3 should capture that region where we're going to have PowerPoint set up. And it does. Alright. Let's go ahead and set up our PowerPoint. So I'll use a sermon that we had last night, 4 Horsemen. Double click on it. PowerPoint comes up. Okay, now this is the miniature version. Let's go ahead and blow it up. Blow it up by just maximizing the screen. All right. Now, first thing we want to do once you've got your PowerPoint, obviously the way you want it, is we want to go to slideshow. Slideshow. Then we go choose the option set up slideshow. See that? Set up slideshow. Click that. This will bring up a menu where we want to choose under show type. We want to command it to browse by an individual window. We want it to stay inside of a window when we do the PowerPoint presentation. If you do not do that, PowerPoint, when it is pulled up, will take up the whole screen. It'll cover XSplit, and you will not be able to operate your program. So you want XSplit, you want PowerPoint to grow or browse or show in an individual window. That's the second choice under this particular version of PowerPoint. Whatever version it is, you need to get to that option. That's how we do it here. Once you click OK, let's go ahead and size it down. And because I have it set in the area, automatically it remembers where it's supposed to go. And then you click on show from the beginning, and if I go to scene PowerPoint on the computer, it will bring up in the main, instead of the camera, it'll now bring up PowerPoint. The same thing that's over my PowerPoint is now being viewed by the audience through the internet on uvu. Okay? So XSplit is basically the eyes of uvu. uvu sees what XSplit shows. So you always want to remember, show what you want your audience to see. One of the things I want to remind the tech team is, don't be so engrossed with what's happening here that you forget there are people who are depending upon you to show them what you're seeing. Don't get so caught up in looking at the slide. The speaker has now moved on, and he's now addressing the audience, and you're listening to the speaker, and you forget to turn it back to scene 1 so that the people can see the speaker. Okay? They want to be able to see his expressions. They want to see the 70% of communication, which is nonverbal. All right? So don't linger too long on the slides. That's my quality tech tip. Don't linger too long on the slides. As soon as the speaker finishes reading the slide and he turns his attention back to the audience, you ought to switch back to scene number 1 so that the people can see the speaker. All right, we ought not be sitting there looking at words and the speaker is trying to talk to us. And every now and then mix in a few crowd shots so that the people can feel connected with this audience and see them agreeing and nodding and just as they feel. All right, that's how that's set up. So when you want to move to the next slide, you make sure that every time you have to switch from a scene to the slide, you have to make sure that you activate or by clicking on the next arrow. That's one way to do it. The way I do it is actually with the down arrow. I just use the down arrow. Up and down, up and down, up and down on the computer. Just use the down arrow. That will advance the slides. Alright, so because it's capturing that screen, whatever's in that screen location, that's what it shows. And that's what the people see. So we're in PowerPoint. We switch back to the speaker shot. Okay, we've got the speaker. How about I zoom in a little bit on this camera. And let's get what simulated speaker shot. So that would be the speaker. And let's get an audience shot here. Mix it back. Let's go back to the next slide. Pastor's call for the next slide. So now we activate it by just clicking on that, hitting down button. That's pretty much how the table is set up. I'll walk you through connections. Before I do that, let's turn on our projector up front because there's a couple more things I need to show you.